Good morning, Board of Directors. My name is Nicole Hicks. I am the Compliance Officer here at General Hospital. I am here today to address an ongoing debate in our field. Is healthcare a moral right or a privilege? Although we Americans value healthcare above many other goods, we continually treat it as a privilege, which brings about many serious repercussions. The U.S. Census found that 15.7% of Americans were uninsured in 2011. We have a shorter life expectancy than 16 other developed nations, which can vary by as many as 30 years between different racial and ethnic groups. We are unnecessarily burdened with 18,000 preventable deaths each year, as well as costs totaling between $65 billion and $135 billion due to the uninsured. The definition of a right can be looked at in both legal and moral terms. Legally speaking, the idea that healthcare is a universal right has never achieved political or cultural acceptance in the United States, due in large part to a long history of skepticism towards the government and its ability to effectively run programs. The Declaration of Independence's famous phrase, "Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness," can be interpreted to include health care. However, it is not a legally binding document. The Constitution is a legal document, but no court has ever ruled in favor of health care being included as one of the constitutional rights. It wasn't until 2010, when President Obama signed the Affordable Care Act into law, did the government guarantee a way to access health care at a reasonable cost regardless of income. This reform finally made health care a citizen entitlement, but the country is still divided on if it should be considered a basic right. Regardless of the legality of the issue, health care professionals have an ethical obligation to provide quality care to their patients. Principlist ethics is a top-down theory with 4 principles that serve as the base to build rules and guides for acting ethically in the medical field. Autonomy, often the dominant theory, states that the patient should be given the opportunity to make his or her own decisions. Beneficence requires the professionals, both clinical and administrative, to do everything they can within reason to care for and benefit the patient, employees, and the organization as a whole. Non-maleficence is the general duty of all providers to do no harm. Preventing harm to patients is a duty of both the clinical and administrative staff. Justice is the 4th and final principle. It requires fairness, that patients in similar situations be treated similarly and those in different situations be treated differently. Decisions the administration makes, such as resource allocation and policies governing all staff, need to be based on the principle of justice. During its founding meeting in 1847, the American Medical Association created the AMA Code of Medical Ethics. It is a standard of conduct designed to help physicians make decisions that recognize their responsibility to the patient first and foremost, as well as to society and other health professionals and to themselves. Within the code, the physician acknowledges he or she has a duty to provide competent medical care with compassion and respect for human dignity and rights, and they will support access to medical care for all people. It is a duty of all the providers to support the right to health care. How should our facility prepare ourselves to better serve our entire community? First, we need to acknowledge the various cultures in our community and the important role they play in health care. Culture governs almost every aspect of care, and our professionals must be properly educated in how to effectively treat people within the context of the patient's culture. Cultural competent providers promote 2 of the 4 principles previously discussed: respect for patient autonomy and justice. Doing the right thing has been the main focus of medicine since its inception, and the intrinsic good that comes from patient-centered, culturally competent care aligns perfectly with that ideology. For guidance in educating professionals to be more culturally competent, refer to the Office of Minority Health website. In addition to educating our professionals, we need to strengthen the number of minority professionals employed here at General Hospital. Minorities already have a greater chance of being treated by a provider from a different race, religion, ethnicity, or culture. This difference often results in misunderstanding and ineffective communication that hinders proper treatment. In conclusion, as politicians continue to debate if healthcare is a basic right, all healthcare professionals have the moral responsibility to support quality care for all. We cannot view healthcare as a privilege. We have the duty to the 4 ethical principles. The Code of Medical Ethics requires providers to treat patients with compassion, respect, and fairness. Lastly, bolstering General Hospital's cultural competency will aid us in better caring for our diverse community. Basing decisions on these principles will ensure we are promoting a future that provides quality care for all citizens. Thank you.